All right, welcome to day 2, Tour for Kids. Are we all ready?
We do this for one simple reason. We basically want to make a meaningful, lasting change in the survival rate and quality of life of kids with cancer. And as you hear the stories, you realize that in this crowd, there's parents, there's grandparents, there's neighbors who've been impacted by it, and all of you have been impacted. So I'm going to call out Frank Morinarity to talk about his story and how he was impacted to bring this a bit home for everybody. So let's give it up for Frank.
Good morning, everyone. As we start the tour today, we recognize that it takes immense training to be able to push our bodies to absolute limits in order to ride 100, 160, or 200 kilometers over hills and through any weather. But it pales in comparison to what many children who are afflicted with cancer have to face in their battle against this disease. Everyone has been touched by cancer in some way, and all the riders and supporters have their own reasons for why they ride. Every single person here today, however, is doing what they can in a joint effort to help the children fight their battles with cancer. Personally, I'm riding this year for my little 8-year-old neighbor, James McKetty. He's a brave young warrior fighting a huge battle, and he's supported by his parents, Gordon, Christina, and his big sister, Mary, who are fighting alongside of him. We're all rooting for him. A few years ago, Gordon and Christina moved next door with Mary, who's now 10, and soon after, James Gordon McKetty arrived and blessed the family with his presence. I could see the joy that these two children brought to their parents. They did all the things that children do, you know, walking, running, playing, learning to ride a bike, rollerblading, etc. They got excited for school, had their knapsacks filled with books and lunches made by Mom. James began to not feel very well, and on a visit to the doctor, his parents were told this devastating news that no parent ever wants to hear. He had a tumor. This was later diagnosed as disseminated low-grade glioma, which means he had tumors up and down his spine. So treatments ensued. I remember a conversation with Gordon about James receiving a yard-long string of beads. And I thought, oh, wow, what a nice thing for the hospital to do by giving him these beads to play with. Gordon quickly set me straight, saying that the beads represent the number of times that James has been poked with a needle for blood tests and or being given medication. I felt naive and then terrified at how much he had to go through. Throughout the treatments, hope was never lost. The tumor seemed to be shrinking, but there was a relapse and he had to continue with treatments. To date, he's had 22 chemotherapy treatments and still has 48 to go. The unknown is scary, and nobody knows what'll happen. But with this brave family surrounding him and helping him every step of the way, there is comfort. He used to run around with his sister and play outside, but now has a hard time walking 50 feet. He doesn't complain, is happy with the small kindnesses and comforts that come his way. He's not regained the strength to ride his bike yet, but he finds that the Tour for Kids jersey he received has great pockets and a fantastic way to carry his Lego around. We're all looking forward to the day when James can get back on his bike and ride with his sister, who enjoys being outside and playing with her friends, but stays close to home. Gordon, Christine, Mary, and James, I'm pushing myself through this tour and dedicating it entirely to you. This is the Tour for James for me and the Grin and Bear It team. Tour for Kids, for me, started as a physical challenge. I wanted to be able to cycle longer distances. I wanted to push myself that extra little bit every ride, but it's become so much more, in that it's made me more aware of the pain and suffering that cancer causes for a family. Now I ride the Tour for Kids not only to challenge myself, but to be an advocate for the children and families with cancer, to assist them in their journey, and to help the children have a sense of normalcy and to feel that they are not alone in their struggle. Our Grin and Bear It team is riding in support of the McKettys, but as I mentioned earlier, everyone has an individual reason for participating in the tour. Keith Major is riding for his niece, who passed away just before her 18th birthday as a result of melanoma. It was the toughest thing he's ever seen a family go through, and it was painfully obvious that more than just medical care was needed. Sarah is riding for her school friend Jackie, who in grade school had a brain tumor. She has memories of the pain her friends suffered because of being shunned by her grade school classmates back in the days when it was little understood. The kids in her class didn't know about cancer, and they were afraid that they would catch the disease. It would have been nice for Jackie to be able to have a summer camp to go through. Janice is riding in the memory of her mom, as well as the kids that Janice met while volunteering at Camp Trillium. Scott and Sean are riding because of the belief that supporting the camp experience will provide a little respite from the additional challenge of cancer in their young lives and for those less fortunate. My aunt died of breast cancer far too young and left my two little cousins without a mom. The Tour for Kids is not just a show of power and physical strength such as the Tour de France or Giro d'Italia. The Tour for Kids is where we strengthen our emotional muscles, we flex our hearts, and donate time, effort, and support, and love to help children and their families in their journey to defeat cancer. We are all united in our cause, and we will all get through this together. See you on the road, and on the road to recovery.
So, here's what I want you to do. Yes, it's about the ride, and yes, it's about all the things, but today, I want you to put your personal needs and your personal desires aside. And I want you to ride for the reason we're riding, for these kids. So whether it's somebody you personally know, or somebody that you've been impacted by, or just the community. So I want everyone to take 1 minute to just center yourself and think about why you're here today and what we as a community can do to continue the fight and continue to make a difference. Okay, 1 minute.
I just want to thank Tour for Kids for all that you do, because I got to see a smile on my daughter's face due to the money that you guys raise from the programs that you support through the hospital with Tour for Kids. And every parent needs to see that smile I got to see on my child's face when they were there for another procedure, another chemotherapy. They didn't have to think about that because they were able to take their mind off it with Camp Uchigai's staff that was at the hospital. And I just thank you guys so much.